Don't make this huge mistake when you're selling your home. I'm Sam Miller of RE/MAX Stars Realty. Welcome to 2 Minutes on Tuesday. I'm going to get right into this video for you. Had a recent experience that, for lack of a better word, I would say shocked me, surprised me, puzzled me. And there was an agent who had a property listed, and it was a higher end property. I had a buyer that reached out to me that was interested in the property and was capable of buying it. And in the higher end properties, there's not as many buyers that qualify. As the price goes up of the home, fewer buyers can afford to buy. And the opposite is true. The lower the price, the more people can buy. So this is what we'll call rare air. It's a price range where not a lot of people would spend this kind of money. And we found out that the property was under contract. But, this is the but, it was under contract subject to the buyer of that home selling their property. So meaning the buyer is interested in buying, they got to sell their house first. So I asked the agent, the listing agent, I says, what's the notification period? Is it a 24-hour bump clause? Meaning if my buyer wants to come and look at it and they want to buy, they say, yeah, I want it, and they write a contract and the seller accepts it, then that triggers a notification to the first buyer they already had that that buyer has to make a decision. Are they going to go ahead and buy the house without selling their current home, or are they going to step aside, terminate their deal, and let my buyer buy the property? And there's a form that we use, most of us, called a contingency release clause, which spells out the notification period and how to notify the customer. So the benefit to this is you don't stop the majority of your traffic on your home when the house goes under contract, because people can still show it, and there's a pretty good chance you can still sell that house. If there's no chance that I can sell that house because they've got it tied up until the listing or until that contract with that first buyer, goes through or falls out, the only benefit that my client would have is if they would want to be maybe in a backup position. Well, it's a lot of effort to go through not knowing if you really have a chance of getting the home. Sometimes people will use a home sale contingency to just buy themselves time. They have every thought in their mind they're going to go through with the deal, but they don't want to buy it until they're forced to or have to. And there's some that have no intentions of buying, and they can't even qualify to buy and own two homes if their house isn't sold. And that's where this contingency release clause really comes in. If another ready, willing, capable buyer comes in, it pushes the first buyer who can't buy without selling their home. If they haven't sold their house, it pushes them aside, and the house for the seller gets to sell. So some other things that are interesting, and you may not know this, but if you use any of the online apps or you're searching any of the websites, many of the times you're going to see it's going to say contingent or contract or pending. And most people's attitudes when they see that on the listing is next. They're not even go look at the photo, say that one's under contract, next. So what I'm telling you when I say don't make this huge mistake, in the market we're in, to take a home sale contingency offer is not really the brightest thing to do unless there's very specific circumstances that you're comfortable with and that would benefit you. If you're trying to buy yourself time but get the house on the market and get a little bit of activity, then it may not be a bad deal. But if you need your money out of your house because you're trying to buy another one, the last thing you want to do is sit around and wait in hopes that someone else who's wanting to sell their home to buy yours can sell theirs. Because there are people in the market that want to put their house on the market. It might be worth $300,000 and they want $450,000. Well, if you've entered an agreement with someone that's home sale contingency and that buyer for your home is unrealistic with what the value of the home is, the odds are it won't sell. And all you've done is tied the house up during the peak selling season, and you've missed out on an opportunity for all the other buyers that would have bought your home. So like I said, you don't want to make this huge mistake. And when people don't use this form, I just have to ask myself, did the seller know there was another alternative? Did they know that form was available? Did they know they could keep the house on the market and continue to show it and accept competing offers that would then trigger the contingency notification. Did they know that? And they may have known that. That may have been a discussion that took place, but I don't know what seller would say, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to sell my house to someone else, potentially at a better price or better terms or faster, especially if they were taking the money from their current house and going ahead and using that money to replace it and buy another home. A lot of people can't do that until they get to cash out of their current house to buy the new one. So obviously I don't know all the details because I'm not privy to the conversation with the listing agent and the seller, but I can't imagine anyone not wanting to have that escape clause, so to speak, if another ready, willing, and able buyer would come along and want to purchase that property. So not really a rant, but more of I wonder if people understand how these contingency deals can work, and are the sellers aware of what their options are instead of, hey, here's the price, they got to sell their home, how does that sound? Hey, alternative would be, hey, great price, they got to sell their house. If you're interested in going that route, this is a mechanism that we can use that basically is going to give you some protection and keep some activity flowing on your house. And if another buyer wants to buy it, it might speed this deal along for you. And then the other thing with these contingency deals, like with the contingency release clause, is that it does have a contract on the home. So the buyer coming along to buy knows the seller's already accepted a deal. So it wipes out a lot of the, hey, well, they take $50,000 less for this house, because they know they already have an offer on it. So that buyer is more apt to pay your asking price or close to it. And even some cases over asking to try to swing the deal their way. In their eyes, sometimes they think that'll help. So anyway, I'm Sam Miller, RE/MAX Stores Realty. Hopefully this was helpful. Now for the canvas print giveaway. It's 24 by 36. And talked about that last week, and I've got all the slips in here with all the people's names on them, and do a quick drawing, and we'll give it away. Who is the winner? Travis Buna. So Travis, you are our winner, and I will reach out to you via Facebook, send you a message, and you are our winner, and you're welcome to stop in the office, and we'll get you set up with your canvas print. Congratulations. Until next week, have a good one. Bye.